Hey, Prime members, you can listen to Crime and Sports early and ad-free on Amazon Music. Download the app today.
In the depths of an Atlanta forest, a clash between activists and authorities ends in tragedy. I'm Matthew Scher, and on my new podcast, We Came to the Forest, we expose the hidden truths behind a shootout that left one activist dead and countless lives forever changed. Binge all episodes of We Came to the Forest ad-free on Wondery Plus.
Hello and welcome to Crime in Sports.
Yay!
Yes. Thank you so much for joining us.
Thank you all.
We couldn't be more excited to be here this week.
Yeah.
My name is James Pietragallo. I'm here with my co-host.
I am Jimmie Whisman.
We'll get that out of the way. You sounded very excited to be Jimmie Whisman
Yes,
there. You
I
sounded
am.
upset to be Jimmie Whisman. I'm Jimmie Whisman. Damn it. Well, we're excited to be here, whether we want to be ourselves or not. We want to be with you.
Yes.
This is so much fun. Thank you guys again. Also want to thank everybody for the fresh iTunes reviews. God, that we love you guys for that. Please.
This has been truly amazing. Like this past month for this podcast has been really fun. The amount of people contacting us,
It's
the
good
people
shit.
reviewing and saying unbelievable things about us.
That helps too. They're even nice.
Right.
So please, guys, get on iTunes.
It feels good.
Throw us 5 stars. Give us the old, we're following instructions, as we've said. I'm following instructions, so we kind of
the
tag it
best
with our
goddamn
own thing.
thing.
And please do that. It helps us so much, and it takes so little. It takes
Yeah.
30 seconds. Really does, and it helps us out tremendously. So if you like the show, that's what you can do to help us.
Yeah.
You can also get on our Patreon page, patreon.com/crimeinsports. Throw us a few bucks there. There's rewards for that, but that costs money. iTunes reviews 100%
Costs
free.
you nothing but
Take
time.
30 seconds of your time and make us the happiest two guys in the world.
That's it.
I want to thank a couple of our listeners also. I want to thank a guy named Jay Ringgold, who has listened to us from the start. He donated to our Patreon page. Great guy. We love him. He was a local comic here in Phoenix. He's a United States service member. He was over in Afghanistan, came back. He's
Boy's in the Navy.
He's in the Navy. He's got a young girlfriend and a young
beautiful baby.
Beautiful baby girl. So this guy, he's a service member, doesn't have a
Yeah.
ton of money, I'm sure, and as a kid trying to save, and he felt it in his heart to give us a few bucks because he likes the show. And that's
fuck
just,
him.
God damn it, thank you, Jay Ringgold. People like that.
Thank you, Jay.
We love you. And of course, we have to tell you guys a little Jack Rowland Murphy update here. One of our
Fucking Murph the Sark.
one of our awesome listeners in Australia, Busby there, Busby wrote him a goddamn. He found where to write Murph the
He
Surf.
did it
a
on his
letter.
own.
On his own, and wrote him the most amazing letter, quoting the show, the verdict of fuck off.
Yeah, and the best part is that
Incredible.
if Murph doesn't know that we covered him,
He'll have no idea
He
what he's
didn't.
talking about.
Busby did not tell him
No.
where all this shit was coming
He
from.
just referenced. It was amazing. It was
He called himself a middle-aged white man.
It was amazing. He just did inside references and jokes. So what we're going to do, we're going to ask Mark if this is okay, but if I'm sure he won't mind because he seemed to love it.
Yeah.
We're going to publish this for you guys somehow.
I want you guys to read
We'll probably
it.
put it on
'cause
our Facebook page because it's
and
a long one.
Twitter would be able to
We
take a
could do
screenshot.
pictures, yeah, screenshots or something, but we'll get it up so you guys
It's
can see
fucking
it.
glorious.
You guys should love Busby because he's an amazing man for doing this. We love him to death. And also, too, one more quick plug, and then
Real
we're on
quick,
to crime.
though, before you do that, we were talking about Busby earlier. It's like our numbers in Australia are going up immensely, and
him.
James said,
It's all him.
James
all
said,
Busby.
I just picture Busby running around just being an enormous pain in the ass.
Going around with his dick hanging out, just yelling at people, crime and
Crime and
sports!
sports.
Just,
He like wrote
Australian
crime and
accent.
sports on his dick.
Yeah, I could say he's nuts. Also, too, if you guys want to see us at the Tempe Improv,
Yes.
July the 6th, a Wednesday night, it's kind of a crime and sports night. No podcast, but just stand up. It's me and Jimmy are the
man.
main event there, and it's going to be awesome. You can get in for free if you use the promo code Crime and Sports.
I love it.
Come see us at stand up afterwards. We'll hang out. We'll talk. We'll have a beer. We'll talk about
I'm in.
every scumbag we've gone over.
Shit,
we'll,
yeah.
we'll have a blast. But come out, represent the crime and sports movement.
Yes.
Come see us July 6th at the Tempe Improv. Now, one thing we have, here's a crime update.
Yes.
Lawrence
This is
Phillips.
so great.
Back to episode number
This is
2.
crazy.
For Lawrence Phillips. Autopsy.
I love that in the article for this,
Mm-hmm.
they talked about, like, I didn't realize that he was actually on the ground hanging.
Yeah.
He was in a sitting position when they found him. That's
like D'Angelo Barksdale on The Wire.
He wanted to die.
Oh, he was going after
it.
it. Phillips, when he wanted something, he got it.
He got
Whether it was a white woman that he wanted, felt like beating up, or a spot in the NFL, he's going after it.
He went and found it.
When he wants to die. So Lawrence Phillips, last we left him, he was hanging in a cell.
Yep.
Hanging in a cell after killing R.J. Soward's cousin.
Right.
So that was interesting. Now, the autopsy finally came out, because that was in January of this year, that it actually was suicide.
It is conclusive.
Conclusive suicide, and there he left his note behind, do not resuscitate, and all that.
Yeah,
so.
he taped that shit to his chest.
He did.
That's
he said,
awesome.
Leave me the fuck alone. Obviously, I went through great lengths to die. Let me do it in peace, goddammit.
Did you hear about the one where the ex-NFL player was found in his cell? That's a great joke.
Oh, my God.
It's a great goddamn joke.
So
with zero punchline.
With zero punchline. So, without further ado,
let's do it.
We have the man of the hour, the scum of the week, the idiot of the day.
I've been looking forward to this.
God, this is a fun story. And I've been dying to do this story. I'm so happy we got to it this week. So, it is Craig Titus.
Yes.
Craig Titus. If you're not familiar with Craig Titus, he's a bodybuilder, or was actually a very famous bodybuilder. Really, if you see his picture and you've been to like a grocery store walking up and seen the muscle magazines, you'll go, I think I recognize that guy. You've seen him 100 times.
He looks like somebody that would be on Men's Health every fucking month.
Every week, and he pretty much was.
Right.
So let's get to the beginning of the origins of Craig Titus.
Can't wait.
Craig Michael Titus, he's born. And he's a bodybuilder. His last name's Titus, which sounds like he's big. You know what I mean? It's
Titus.
Titus.
Yeah.
So it's very fortuitous naming for him. He's born January 14th, 1965.
All right.
He's from Wyandotte, Michigan. Wyandotte, Michigan. I don't know how the hell you say that.
I don't know either.
Basically, outside of Detroit. He always says he's from basically Detroit.
Gotcha.
He grew up in Riverview, which is outside of Detroit, I assume a suburb of some kind. He's the oldest of 3 kids. He's got a younger brother, younger sister, also in the mix here.
And he's the oldest.
He's the oldest.
So his parents doted on him, no doubt.
Not a big kid.
No?
Not a big kid.
Oh, yeah. He was a little wiry.
He's a wiry little guy. Tried to play football in high school, but he just wasn't big enough.
Wow.
He was about 5'6", 132 pounds he wrestled at.
Wow.
So you're not looking at a 5'6", 132-pound kid and going, he's going to be a bodybuilder on the cover of all these magazines. He's going to be enormous. So he ended up being a high school wrestler. Wrestled at 130 whatever pounds, very small weight guy. Gets out of high school, and people like him too. I mean, Craig. People said he had a charming side to him.
Yeah.
Friendly. They also said he's a bit manipulative. Knows how to get people to do what he wants them to do, which is a pattern we're sensing.
The mark of a fucking crazy person.
In our 21st episode right here, we are sensing a pattern of manipulation and things of that nature.
Manipulation is the first step to sociopathy? What is it?
Something like that. They get what you're talking about. Into being a dickhead.
Being a dick.
Being a
complete dickhole.
Societal nudnik. So he starts really getting into working out after high school. Starts getting into it, starts getting a little ripped up. Then he finds, if I take some steroids, I'll really get bigger.
I get much bigger.
Much bigger, much faster. So he starts taking supplements and steroids. Within about 3 years, he has packed on almost 90 pounds at this point.
Holy shit.
He's a big cat.
He almost doubled his weight.
He basically, the first year and a half, he gained like 40 pounds, and a couple years later, he put on another 45 pounds.
Jesus.
I mean, he got to be a big, big guy. 1988 comes around. He competes in his first bodybuilding competition. 1988 NPC Houston Bodybuilding Championship.
So weird that when anybody chooses that as their path.
It's such an odd thing to choose.
It's such a weird thing.
Is.
I know a girl from high school that played soccer, and she's a beautiful girl. She's got an hourglass figure, and we recently became friends on Facebook, and she is now into bodybuilding, and it's fucking weird to see her as like the soccer girl that was like very popular, and everybody liked her, and now she's like ripped up. It's so weird.
It's one thing to like be into weightlifting and be into like looking good in bodybuilding, but these people are like, I am going to look so good that I'm going to get paid just for people to look at me.
Right.
I'll go to a place where there's a bunch of people gathered. I'll go on stage and say, look at my arm and
in
flex
a thong
it.
with a giant number taped to the hip.
People will clap politely. I'll walk off and I'll get a paycheck for that somehow. Like that's their wow.
And a trophy.
And a trophy.
My neighbor is in the
Like you're
he
12.
was in the Air Force, and he has since moved. But he was in the Air Force at Luke Air Force Base, and he lived across the street from me. He had a daughter who we came over for a birthday party, and upstairs they had like a little area for the kids to play. So my son went up there, they were playing. I went up to check on them, and I walked past his bodybuilder. He's a bodybuilder, big fucking guy.
Yeah.
I didn't realize that he did like competition shit. I walked past his trophy case, and it's the creepiest fucking thing in the world to see all these gold men ripped up in like weird. It's like the gayest Oscars you've ever seen in your life.
That's the Tonys.
And
that.
And he's so excited to tell you about them. These people they're really into it.
And these people, you have to be. From what we'll get into, you have to be 1,000% into this into it. It has to be every second. You have to be thinking about your exercise, your sleep, your food, your supplements, your roids, your workouts.
Everything in your body, from food to water to oxygen.
Everything you do. So his first competition here in Houston in '88, he comes in first in the middleweight and first overall.
Wow.
So he kills it. That's his first competition.
His first competition, first place, everything.
First in division, first overall. Sweeps it. Repeats that in '89, same competition, wins first in his division, first overall in '89 in the Houston competition. So,
good God.
Yeah, he goes on to 1990 where he wins first overall in the NPC Western Cup competition, which I assume is like a Western United States. Takes first in that. So, I mean, he is...
just right out of the gate, he's knocking them out of the park.
He is, and he says this is a good... We'll do it in our own words here right off the bat. This is about steroids. He says, quote, "What supplement will work without steroids? None of them. I can honestly say that I've used almost every steroid made at one time in my career."
Wow.
And that's what we're dealing with here with this guy.
God.
He is on a lot of shit and a lot of roids at all times.
Jacked to the gills.
And we actually have later on like a bodybuilder's steroid regimen from another bodybuilder that's around his area and weight class. So we'll get into that. It's kind of interesting. If any of you guys really want to jack yourselves up, we're going to tell you exactly how to do it. Stay tuned for that. It's our own little anarchist cookbook here. So April '95, he's competing all through the early '90s. He's coming in. He's doing well too. He's coming in, third over here, second over here, first over here.
Yeah.
He's doing. I'm not going to go over 45 bodybuilding competitions that no one's ever heard of, except for 12 people that are listening that read Flex magazine. We'll stick to generals here. So 1995 comes around. Apparently, bodybuilding wasn't enough of a living for Craig, and Craig, we're going to find, likes the drugs a little bit too.
But he's into that shit.
Apparently, bodybuilding didn't provide the lifestyle that he really needed, because he's arrested in April '95 in Louisiana and eventually pleads guilty to conspiracy to possess with the intent to distribute imported ecstasy tablets.
Wow.
So he's got a little ecstasy ring going on, his own little ecstasy ring down in Louisiana. It's a Class 3 felony. That's not good.
That's a big deal.
You're dealing with something pretty stiff here.
That usually gets time.
Exactly, but I don't think he has anything big on the books yet, because he's sentenced here to 16 months of in-house probation.
Wow.
So he
really got off free.
With the anklet and the whole deal in his house, but he's allowed to go to he's allowed to, I guess, work, because he's going all around. July of 1995, I mean, this was after this, Denver, Colorado, NPC USA Championships. He feels he should have won. Okay,
feels wronged.
The whole time they did like the prejudging. I guess they take a look at him the night before just to kind of whatever, and then they fill it in the rest later.
It's like a cattle call.
He's like, I got this. He's telling everyone there is no fucking way I'm not winning this shit at all. I am winning this. Well, comes to the time of the announcements. They announce second place, and it's him. They announce Titus. He rips the number off his chest.
Wow.
Or off his
just fucking roid rages right there.
Sulks, goes to the back, picks a chair up and breaks it on the floor, wooden chair, busts all four legs off.
Oh, that's so awesome.
Throws it against the wall like a raged up Bobby Knight, you know what I mean? He's a crazy person. He starts freaking out. His friends and other bodybuilders are like, hey, God, dude, you can't be doing this. Like, you're not allowed to walk off the stage. You have to be up there for judging.
You can't throw fits. Be an adult.
Get back up there. Come on, man. You're going to get in trouble. And he's like, fuck this. I'm out of here. He takes off, tells him no photos, no interviews, eat a dick. I don't want to talk to anybody.
Second place, are you fucking out of your mind?
Gone. I mean, he just snaps, man. So he's suspended for 6 months, including the nationals.
He is suspended from flexing. That's awesome.
Flexing. You're not allowed to come here. You keep your oil at home, mister. Keep your oiled up self
Take your
away
triceps
from our stage.
and stick them up your ass.
I picture him like out front of the building flexing, on his own. Just like, no, I should be in there. Just posing away, all oiled up out there. It's like, it's Denver. It's like, it's July. So
keep your Johnson & Johnson at home.
So later on in November, they have the Nationals, and he's not allowed to compete in that, which he says he didn't want to anyway, so they can go fuck themselves. He's ready to move on. Bigger and better shit, baby. Not dealing with this bullshit anymore.
That's so awesome. I can't believe he got suspended.
Then 96, though, he ends up doing the NPC stuff again. NPC USA Championship. This is the overall.
Yeah.
He wins first heavyweight, first and
Well,
overall.
yeah, they're terrified that he's going to break a bunch of chairs.
and people and judges.
Yeah.
Who knows? So he wins the whole deal overall. He's the badass of the country.
Yeah.
He's the prize in 96. Later on, he competes in Mr. Olympia's 2001. He's 12th in Mr. Olympia.
Wow.
11th in Mr. Olympia 2002. So that was kind of toward the end of his career. But we'll get back to the mid-90s here. Back to the 96. Funny story here. There's a lot of stories of him. This guy does not take shit, Craig Titus. He's known for it.
He's not good at just dealing.
He's known as like the pro wrestler of bodybuilding, basically. Like that's what everybody calls him. Like he doesn't take shit. He confronts people. He gets in fights. He talks shit about his competitors. I've seen interviews where he's like, this fucking guy thinks he's gonna win. He's garbage. Look at his pecs. Like he reminds me of Ray McNeil.
Yeah,
there.
Sally McNeil's husband
Beating up Sally because
get your weak shoulders.
Your shoulders are not developed enough, Sally. Back and check Sally McNeil out if you're interested in this, because it's a similar story except with a woman.
That's hilarious that they could just nitpick a muscle.
Yeah, like, look at that. I don't know. So anyway,
your shoulders are a little round, sir. You need to fucking square those up.
This is a story from fellow bodybuilder Greg Kovach, whatever. He tells a story about hanging out with Titus, and apparently he said he's got a ton of stories. This is the first one. 96, he gets his pro card. I guess they're in Toronto, where I think Kovacs is from, because he said, I'm from around here. They get to the airport. They were at a strip club. Yeah. Titus said, take me to the strip club first and foremost, which whatever. Yeah. They go to the strip club, and so apparently there's a group of guys, younger guys, they're in their 20s, and they're talking shit about them. And they're especially Kovac, just calling him saying shit about
Why would they
roids.
Do that?
They're laughing at him, pointing at him, things like that. Because there's, I guess, a bunch of them. I guess there's like 10, 12 of them.
I don't give a fuck.
So they're ignoring it, and I guess Titus is not ignoring it much.
No.
But the Greg Kovach guy is like, whatever, you know what I mean? But Titus is like, okay, I guess these guys go to leave, and Titus pays the bill quick, and he says, run outside, go start the car, and wait for me. Bad sign right there when somebody says that. You know trouble's
Are you going to rape a girl? Are you going to punch out the DJ? Are you going to go knock out 14 dudes?
So he ended up, he pays the tab, the guy runs out to the truck, Titus follows these group of guys out, and I guess the one guy who's doing the most talking was kind of straggling in the back, so he said, hey, come here for a second. And he brings the guy over. This is Titus. Brings the guy over. And he says, hey, why the fuck were you talking to my friend back there? Why don't you have shit to say about him now? What were you saying that was so important? You a pussy? And the guy apparently right away said, no, I don't know what you're talking about. Yeah. He's got this monster.
Yeah. And from a distance, somebody that's jacked doesn't, I mean, you can tell that they're big, but when they get close to you, and especially a guy like him,
he's
enormous.
He just won a national bodybuilding overall heavyweight. He's 265 pounds of he's 5'8", dude.
Yeah.
You're 5'8", aren't you?
And if I was that, I'm 180 pounds of soggy shit.
265?
I'd love to be 190 of solid. 265, forget it.
It's like tacking a little girl onto you, just like a small woman. He's
got a coffee can for a neck.
Body. Oh, it's ridiculous. So I guess this guy starts thinking better of the situation and saying, I didn't say anything.
Listen, I don't want to get hit by you.
Craig decides to bitch slap him. That's the only way to do it.
Fuck yeah.
He starts paintbrushing him, I guess. Slaps the guy to the ground. And at that point, his dozen or so friends start running over with knives and baseball bats and shit. And so,
if you don't have a gun, get in your car and get the fuck out of there.
So Greg Kovac's in the car. Apparently, he hears a banging on the roof. Next thing you know, he looks back, and Craig Titus is in the pickup part of his truck, banging on the roof, going, "Let's go, move it!" With an angry mob of guys,
pitchforks and knives,
looking
and
like from the
flames.
outsiders, a bunch of greasers with like chains and fucking knives and shit chasing after him. Just a disaster.
Somebody's got a mace.
But this is the type of guy we're dealing with. He does not take shit.
No.
He talks some shit from a distance in a club, and he's going to fucking have a talk with you.
And he doesn't give a shit how undersized he is in height. He makes up for it because he's 5'8" tall, but he's also 5'8" fucking wide.
That's the thing too. You know that he probably has a chip on his shoulder about that.
Absolutely,
He's a big guy. He's
doesn't feel good to be 5'8". I promise.
So this guy, so now we get to 1997. He fails a drug test for his probation.
Oh, God.
For the whole
steroids.
For the ecstasy.
Oh, and that shit. Yeah.
Fails the drug test for steroids, and he's also found in possession of some steroids, too. I guess once he fails the test, they search his car, his house,
that makes
whatever.
Sense.
They find some steroids.
That's completely legit.
Sentenced to 21 months in federal prison for that that little escapade there. So
almost 2 years in federal prison.
Federal.
That's real. That's
in
not,
deep shit at that point. So
they tell you when to eat. They tell you when to sleep. They tell you if it's okay if you can shit.
So his bodybuilding resume has a little bit of a gap.
Yeah. A small 21-month gap.
And there's a bigger gap later on.
Later on, it's going to get major.
He's released from prison in April of '99. Released from federal prison, gets right back into the bodybuilding scene. Obviously, this is what he does.
He
for a
had
living.
time in the prison to fucking work out, and I guarantee he did that.
Probably.
Yeah.
He probably had a hard
he had to
time
do it
getting
natural
the roids
with
in there, but
bologna and
stick a few things.
Yeah.
He's back to tip top shape at that time. He meets Kelly Ryan in 1999. Okay, they meet. Kelly Ryan, we'll get into her. She's a very pretty young girl at this point.
Yeah.
Gorgeous girl. Craig is pretty aggressive with her. First few times Craig asks her out, she refuses because she knows his reputation.
And she's training to be a Laker girl, too.
That's the other thing. And, well, he just got out of prison.
Yeah.
He just got out of federal prison. She's into the whole fitness world.
Right.
He was in federal prison for drugs, ecstasy, and then steroids and all that. So she's a little leery of him, but he's persistent. And like we said, he knows how to get you to do what he wants to do, like all these guys do.
Manipulation, he knows how to do it.
Eventually she agrees to go out with him, of course.
Unbelievable.
Worst mistake of her life.
Yeah.
So she's a gymnast at this point.
A really good one.
Really good. She studied, apparently there's a legendary coach named Bella Caroli, which sounds like, I don't even know, it sounds like a makeup, like someone with a makeup line.
Yeah.
I feel like. But they also coach gymnastics, apparently. She led the dance and cheerleading squads at the University of South Carolina.
Right. She was a Gamecock.
She's always, her friend said she's always the captain of every team. She's just good at everything.
Yeah.
Very successful, outgoing, personality
plus that
everything.
She walks into a room and she captivates everybody.
Everything.
Yeah.
She's training to be a Laker girl.
Right.
That's her dream.
That's her dream.
Until she sees a fitness competition.
Yep.
There's female fitness competitions, which are kind of like bodybuilding, but not like bodybuilding.
Right.
Because they're like in shape, but they're not like
They're not like
they're not Sally McNeil.
Right.
They're not muscled out.
Right.
They're like, they do like routines where they like do gymnastics and show how
backflips and
strong
shit.
they are.
Right.
They'll like show how flexible and strong. And it's just, I'm the most fitness woman I'm the most fitnessed woman in the land, basically. So in 1995, she does her first competition. She places first in her competition here in the 1995.
They got something in common.
1995 NPC South Carolina competition. So yeah, they have something in common. That's how
She's
she
good.
was.
He's good.
98, she wins Fitness America national title.
Wow.
So I mean, she's hot shit. Then she meets him in 99.
The two of them. So this is something we haven't done yet.
No.
Is that there in
This
this
is
story
the couple.
there are two people who are the tops of their sport.
Yeah, and we're this episode is titled Craig Titus, and it's about Craig Titus, but it is
a lot about
it's at least 40% about Kelly Ryan here,
Right.
his wife here. So yeah, we'll get into this.
Okay.
So anyway, so they meet at, by the way, her nickname is Flyin' Ryan,
Yeah.
which I think is fucking
I remember
awesome.
hearing that. That's hysterical.
Flyin' Ryan.
Somebody was real clever.
So they meet at a competition, like I said. They meet at a competition together. He persists. They go out. They meet in Panama Beach, Florida.
Yep.
At a bodybuilding competition. Now, this is when another girl comes into the equation.
Okay.
I'm sorry. She meets this girl at Panama Beach, Florida. The girl named Melissa James enters the equation in 99 also. This is when they just first get together and all this. Now, Craig is a ladies' man.
Yes, he is.
He fancies himself a ladies' man. He's always up with the ladies. He's always screwing around.
Yeah.
All the guys know that. He gets in a fight with a fellow bodybuilder we're getting into later because the guy thinks he was hitting on his girlfriend, that sort of thing. So he meets her. He tries to get with her, and eventually she gets into it because she kind of looks up to him a little bit because she's younger. He's like a big shot in the whole deal.
And he's got a name to him.
Yeah, he's got a name, and they have a little affair in Florida.
Yep.
They fuck around a little bit, you know what I mean? And Craig encourages her to move to Vegas.
Yeah.
He's like, I'm going to get my side chick to come to my hometown. So at this point, he's living in Vegas. The next year, he marries Ryan. He marries her in July of 2000 at the Little White Chapel in
Yeah,
Vegas.
that famous one.
This story is white trash already. It's getting white trash here, guys. He's married at the Little White.
Fucking Florida's involved.
Jesus
There's going to be
Christ.
some white trash.
I think Elvis got married here. Isn't that right? Isn't there a poster that Elvis got married here? So the couple settles in Vegas. They want to open gyms in Vegas.
Yep.
They're local celebrities here. Whole time he's trying to get Melissa James to move out there with him. At this point, this is really funny too. There's a YouTube video that I found of Craig in the stands at one of Ryan's fitness competitions, where it was like clear that she won and she came in second, and they show the stage of them announcing her second, and then they cut to him in the stands, and he's just like, "God, you gotta be fucking kidding me! Jesus Christ! What the? This is bullshit, right? Right? And there's
Start
people just
breaking
like,
chairs, man.
I mean, he's like, you gotta be fucking kidding me. He's losing his mind in the stands.
That's my wife, goddammit.
Yeah, so he's protective. He wants her to
That's awesome.
to win here. So yeah, they're married. Now Kelly is very successful in Vegas too.
Right.
After they get married, she's coaching, she's doing appearances, she's got product endorsements.
That's great.
She's got endorsements.
Yeah.
I mean, they're doing
That's a big
well.
deal.
Her appearance fee that she demands at this point is $2,500 to $3,500.
Wow.
For an appearance,
Just to show up.
just to show up, to talk some shit, to do whatever
Jesus.
they want. So I mean, she's
That's
doing
some
well.
good money.
Craig's fee was $5,000.
Wow.
He won't even walk in the door for less than $5,000.
That's amazing.
For having muscles.
For having a fucking
'Cause he's
a
muscly.
huge neck. Yeah. For having
Give me a fucking
biceps.
break, man.
For looking like a Volkswagen. The
That's
guy
amazing.
gets $5,000 to show up. I want that so bad.
So do I, but
So
I don't want
bad.
to work out that much.
No.
But just to do jokes.
I don't
want
want to. Yeah, I don't know that I want to spend much time, that kind of time, doing much of anything.
No,
really.
I couldn't do that. I really could. I do not have the commitment to really throw myself into one thing
Right.
like that. I really
Stand up,
don't.
I can do that, but stand
Not
up.
even that though, because you're here.
Yeah, that's a good point.
We're doing this.
You're recording.
You can't do this if you're a
staring
bodybuilder.
at each other, right?
Everything has to be
Everything.
into
There are
that.
no dates.
Yeah, there's no dates. There's no nothing. It's
Have
just
you
all
want
day,
to have a
every day.
romantic night down at Gold's?
Yeah, that's what it is. We'll count our
We'll
calories.
share a protein shake.
We'll have a bunch of protein. We'll really load up on carbs so we can hit
Put
it's
two
ridiculous.
straws in my chocolate protein.
I don't know if that's what you do to work
I
out
don't
because I don't fucking work out. We are the guys that I don't know if you know anything about bodybuilding, but we'll tell you up front, we don't know shit about
Nothing.
bodybuilding. Nothing. I am 6'4", I weigh 195 pounds. I'm a thin guy. Jimmy, you
I'm
are
a
5'8".
dumpy 5'8".
You don't look like you're going to compete in a Mr. Olympia anytime soon. No offense.
That's not happening.
Maybe you'll get on the right supplements. I'm not sure. So at this point, with all this income coming in, they buy a nice house, like a $500,000 house in Vegas. Which
I
in
saw it.
Vegas,
It's
that's
beautiful.
a good house. It's not like
It's
New
got like
York, where
it's got a
dump.
patio on top
Yeah.
with like double doors entering it from two different
Sweet,
rooms.
man. Over 3,000 square feet. They have a
Three-
gym, a
yeah.
theater, big
Three-car garage. It's
where
gorgeous.
they keep their cars, including he has a big Dodge Viper truck.
Yeah,
Which is
a big douche truck.
Big douche. It's just, you know, it has nuts hanging off the back of it. They have
But
truck balls.
the Viper trucks aren't the lifted ones. They're the ones that
Yeah.
are like kind of
They're
lowered,
loud
but
as shit.
and they sit on 22s, and it has a Viper V10 motor in it that is fast as the
It's
day is
sick.
long. It's so fucking fast.
So he's got that, and she has a red Jaguar that she loves. She
That car's
loves
gonna-
her red Jaguar.
that car's going to be such a tool. I know it.
We're going to have to come back to that red Jaguar in a moment because it comes up pretty
So
big.
they have essentially, because that truck's about 50 to 60 grand.
At
that
least.
car's probably 60.
least.
So you're talking about $120,000 worth
Yeah,
of
at
cars
least.
and a $500,000 house. They're
They're
living
doing
nice.
well.
They're doing really
They're doing well, and they are living it up too.
Partying.
Socially. Partying
Partying
They
like
had
crazy.
Huge parties.
Every time they won a fucking competition,
Yeah.
they partied like fucking
Even if
rock
they
stars.
didn't win.
Oh,
they
is
were
that
just,
right?
They were just, yeah, it was like if they got a good endorsement
Yeah.
or like a good appearance,
Yeah.
they'd have a party.
They both have
Because
an
they got a
endorsement
bunch
the
of
same
cash
day.
in.
They've got
Yeah.
$8,500. They're like,
Let's throw a party.
Let's throw a party.
And these were known as like sex and drug parties.
Yeah.
These are like the party you want to go to if you're in the 11th grade. You're like,
Fuck
oh,
yeah.
they got drugs and sex there. This is the best.
Tommy's parents are out of town. Let's go
it's
get
like
some Coke.
It's an orgy going on. They're having, there's cocaine, there's oxy, cotton, all sorts of pills at these parties. They're doing shit. Everybody's fucking everyone. It sounds really gross.
Yeah.
Everybody all oiled up. You know, it's just all oiled up fitness people. They don't eat. All they eat is like their farts smell horrible. Probably The
Lots
whole
of broccoli
room.
and fucking cabbage.
Plus, they shit like 9 times a day. These people. That bathroom's probably just smoking. There's smoke coming
They take
off of it.
breaks in between fucking to go shit.
Gross, man. I don't want to walk in on that. So they start spending too much money, obviously, on all their shit. But they're hustlers, man. They hustle. That's one thing about these guys. They will work. They'll go out, they'll hustle, they'll open up a new business, they'll go start a new revenue stream, they'll find something, she'll start coaching more people. They're badasses when it comes to that. They're smart. Kelly's friend here said about her, quote, Kelly is the type of person that can succeed at anything. If she opened a popsicle stand, it would be the best-selling popsicle stand anyone had ever seen. So that's how everyone feels about Kelly. She can just do no wrong.
Business acumen. She knows what she's doing.
Now, here's a great story from this time period from a gentleman named Chris Real Deal Cormier.
Yes.
He apparently, I don't know if he does not know the existence of Evander Holyfield or he's just not... See, this is the same with Gorilla Pimp, everything else. Don't nickname yourself.
No,
I'm the
you
real
gotta
deal.
let somebody else do it. Yeah.
So, anyway, this is from a 2011 interview where he talked about this time period. And he said he was friends with Titus, and Titus was just, he said 100% all the time hothead. Just always 2 seconds away from snapping, flying off the handle, breaking up a chair and whipping it against the wall like Bobby Knight. He's a lunatic, right? So this is an incident that happened at Gold's Gym. This is the first of a couple that we're going to hear about at Gold's Gym. And a bunch of these bodybuilder guys that all know each other were sitting around shooting the shit at Gold's Gym. Yeah. It's like comics are sitting around at an open mic or something. Busting balls at a comedy club. And the guys, I love some of the guys that were in attendance, by the way. Here's a couple of names are normal, then we get into some funny ones. Here we have, this is Chris Real Deal Cormier. Craig Titus is here. Paul Dillett, a man named Melvin Anthony, who will come back later on. We'll find out about him later on. A guy named Rico McClinton, which sounds like a total dirtbag. He just sounds like a dirtbag.
Sounds like he's giving herpes to like 9 girls.
He sounds like he'd give your sister chlamydia. You know what I mean? Like, fucking Rico McClinton gave my sister fucking chlamydia, man. God damn it. Bastard.
Fucking Rico.
He gave your sister chlamydia? Shit. We got to stop this guy. And then finally a man named Flex Wheeler.
Oh, Christ.
Which is like if someone wrote a terrible movie and they had a bodybuilding character, it'd be like, we'll call him Flex Wheeler.
If Flex is still alive today, he definitely has an 80s fucking wave for a haircut.
Flex Wheeler.
He's got a fucking nasty tan constantly.
This is amazing. So apparently there's another guy there named Flex Wheeler. That's my favorite name in the whole story. Hey, like, Flex, come here. How did he get the name Flex?
Yeah.
Out of everyone in the community. He's like, I'm fucking Flex,
And how about
buddy.
how did the movie Over the Top miss that name? How did they not
Flex,
have somebody in there named Flex?
That's probably where they got it from, or like Roadhouse.
Some
or
bullshit fucking...
No Holds Barred with Hulk Hogan. I think that's the second guy Tiny Zeus Lister fought was Flex Wheeler at the factory.
It's fucking great.
So, apparently there's another man there named Arnie List, another bodybuilder from that time period. And also this guy says he was a real good guy, always placed top 5 at national shows. So he's no chump, this Arnie List. Apparently Craig and Arnie had gone into a business together in the past, and some went awry, went a little sideways. And apparently rumor has it that Craig stole money from the situation. Craig owed money to Arnie for this whole situation. That's what everyone knows and thinks. So after a while, they're all sitting around. Arnie just, in front of everybody, bursts out to Craig and says, when are you going to give me my money?
Oh, shit.
Craig is pissed
Confrontation.
off. Yeah, he doesn't like to be...
And he makes me belittle. You're going to embarrass me?
Yeah.
You're going to embarrass me in front of my friends?
So he yelled at him, he said, contact my lawyer, which is an odd thing to say in an argument with another bodybuilder in a gym.
In front of everybody?
Like, hey, fuck you, pal. He goes, contact my lawyer. What year is it?
Somebody get me another 45 plate.
Wow. So they start arguing. They start getting in each other's faces after that. All the guys back away because they're like, I don't want to be in between these two
giant fucks.
Especially Titus is the type of guy who's known to just throw a punch on a whim. So you want to stay out of the line of fire here.
It's gonna look like the Hulk and Superman in that fucking movie where they throw each other against cars and just
smashing shit.
Just bash up walls,
beating each other up. So Craig eventually calms down after the confrontation. He goes, "Look, man, I'll pay you. I'll pay you your money." He tells him. So I mean, he's trying to. He goes, "Look, I'll pay you. I'll pay you." Arnie loses his shit at this point. Arnie gets in his face and says, "Motherfucker, you won't pay me. That's a pipe dream. Just like the pipe dream of you being Mr. Olympia. It isn't going to happen."
Oh, my God.
That's the line.
That's it.
That's the line.
Yeah.
And the guy in the real deal in the article, the guy who wrote it, Cormier, says, hey, you make fun of a guy's pocketbook, you can fuck with his head, you can tell him he's a deadbeat.
Yeah.
You start making fun of his aspirations and what he's trying to do. You're asking for.
That's the comedy equivalent of saying you're not funny.
You're never gonna get. You think you're gonna get booked here for fucking weekends? You're never gonna get.
That's
booked.
not happening.
You're gonna be doing weekday shit.
You're a
for the rest of
loser.
your life. Yeah. So Craig fucking decks him. He hauls off, punches him in the cheek. So these are two big ass guys.
Yeah.
He punches him in the cheek. I guess opens up a big cut on his cheek.
I feel like there was a big boom. Like when it hit, there was no smack. You know, like when little guys get hit, there's like a smack from the
like a
flat
watermelon.
palm.
Yeah, like you're hitting a watermelon. So apparently after that, Craig goes fucking WWF on him and fucking hip tosses him like
nice.
They got up on a rack and Superfly splashed him.
I love it.
He did hip toss him,
Yeah.
no Superfly splash. He hip tosses him, gets on top of him, starts working him over. I guess Arnie's girlfriend jumps in the mix and starts going crazy. People start calling the cops at this
is
point.
Awesome.
Now the cops are going to come. The bodybuilders start looking at their watches, going, "It's getting late.
Yeah.
I don't want to talk to the cops." So they all fucking.
I got
split.
a couple of testosterone loaded spikes in my fucking
who knows
duffel.
What they're in possession of, all these guys. They're like, I'm going to get going now.
run.
You guys, I got to be up early in the morning.
You got Deca in your glove box. I got it in mine. Let's get the fuck out of here.
They take off. Huge mess. This is another one here we'll get into. I'm sorry. Cormier says, quote, about this. Cormier says, quote, Craig always had a hot head and would mouth off at any time. It's really not a good quality to have. Look where it landed the guy. So Cormier really kind of nailing him there. Yeah. He also said that this is what I'll tell you about the roid regimen, because Cormier says it in this article. He says that pros don't spend that much time getting ready for shows.
Yeah.
They're just always like that. They keep themselves pretty much at tip-top shape all the time.
Just stay woke at all times.
Here is he said this is what he called a list from a competitor of his, and he said it's pretty typical of what guys are on all the time. So listen up at home if you're interested in getting on a regimen of some type and you know how to get these drugs, because I don't. You take humastrope. I don't know what that is.
What is that?
4 to 6 IUs. I don't know what that is either, but I'm sure you'll figure it out if you can find humastrope.
If you know what the fuck that is, you know the measurement.
Take that every other day. Sustanin, you take 1,000 to 1,500 milligrams per week. Materon, you take 100 milligrams every other day. Winstrol, which I've heard of actually, baseball players took that. You take 100 milligrams every other day, starting a few weeks before the show. So I guess that's one to kind of really, I don't know if it's like a fat cutter or what that does. Clenbuterol, which sounds like a bad food additive.
That sounds like something that helps you quit smoking.
Sounds like something that gives you anal leakage, like you're cutting a potato chip that you don't want. This has clenbuterol in it. I don't want this. My underwear will be terrible.
Sounds like a GMO.
Yeah, it's not. So 25, I don't know what MCG is. Micrograms? I don't know what that is. MCG of that every day.
All right.
And then you take Citamel. Citamel, you take 50 MCGs every day. And then he said, plus he would do like other exotics, as he called it, which are like different things for fat cutters and food. This is what I mean.
That sounds like a lot of shit to be thinking about.
You have to be a chemistry professor.
Right,
to
exactly.
be in the sport. I mean, this is insane.
It takes less chemicals to make meth.
Yeah, you can make meth easier. And probably make more money. Guys, put the weights down. Get
Start
some meth.
cooking it up.
Cook it up, guys. Let's go. Jesus Christ, you lazy
Watch
fuck.
yourself some Breaking Bad and get it in gear.
No shit. I mean, and Titus is a huge guy. He's featured at this point too. Like I said, if you've been to a grocery store, he was featured on over 100 covers of bodybuilding mags. Over 100. So I mean,
So you probably think you've probably
man.
seen a bunch of magazines and you think there's a bunch of these ripped guys. No, there's just fucking one.
It's just
and he's
him,
just on
pretty
every
much.
fucking
He's on
magazine.
all of them.
Yeah.
That's the type, because he's only 5'8".
Yeah.
When you're that short, you can really look ripped.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like Arnold Schwarzenegger. The reason why that was so amazing is because he's 6'4".
Right.
You
He's huge.
can't look big when you're 6'4". You look long.
Right.
You know what I mean? So for 5'8" is what you want to be.
It's hard to
for
get
this.
wide at the same time.
At 6'4",
Right.
yeah. So you have to take. Imagine the steroids Schwarzenegger was on to get that. Holy shit!
To get that big,
He
Jesus.
said what he was on. It was a lot. So here's another tale of Gold's Gym. There's another story of Gold's Gym here. Melvin Anthony, who we brought up earlier. Apparently, he's a 290-pounder, too. He's a big cat, dude. He's a big guy. Apparently, he accused Titus of hitting on his girlfriend. And Titus was leaving the gym, and Anthony was coming in, and he saw that Melvin was pissed, and Melvin Anthony was like, hey, and he confronted him, and Titus, I don't know what you're talking about, I didn't hit your girlfriend. And Titus says this is from an interview from him, he goes, look, man, I'll fuck around. Everybody knows that, but I wasn't interested in his girlfriend.
Well, very well-known coxman, and that bitch was not one that I wanted.
Not what I'm after, really.
Right.
So, anyway, he said he thought that Melvin Anthony felt like he was in danger of being hit, so he said, and Titus made sense here. He said, this is the type of fight where you want to get the first punch in. When you're dealing with guys that big.
These are behemoths.
Yeah, guy that's 290 socks you. You're shit out of luck.
These are two Tyrannosaurus Rexes going at it.
So he said he just clobbered him right in the forehead.
Nice.
Right in the forehead. He said he went down, he jumped on top of him. It was quickly broken up because it was right in the front.
Thank God.
This is like right in the front where people are coming in and out. This wasn't like in a back room like the other fight where it could kind of go messed with for a while.
And he's on the ground. They're doing the ground and pound. If you miss and hit the floor, you're going to break up our tie.
Oh, God. These two, it's ridiculous, these two. Imagine these two behemoths fighting.
I can't.
You have to almost like spray water on them like cats. Like, cut it out. You idiots. Stop that. I'm not going to get involved in that.
That's hilarious.
Just put pee in a water bottle. Stop.
Spraying them with vinegar.
Yeah. Go. So in 2002, he starts promoting post-event parties. He's going to live up to that lifestyle of 1,800 people show up at his first party.
Holy
shit. He's doing a good job.
Where's it at?
These are in Vegas and
Just
other
in some
cities.
Showroom?
I guess they're after like competition parties. So there'll be a big expo or competition.
A ballroom or something?
He'll throw the big after party basically, and he's making dough off of that too. He's doing well. July 2003, and he did this up until November 2005, and we'll tell you why he stopped in a little bit. He writes a monthly column in Muscular Development magazine, which I am a loyal subscriber to. You might imagine. Just been a subscriber since the womb.
Got lots of them sitting next to my toilet.
When I was like 6, my parents bought me a subscription to Highlights magazine and Muscular Development magazine. Those are the two they got me. At this point, Melissa James is going back and forth to Vegas. This is the girl he met in Panama Beach that we were talking about, that he had a little affair with.
He's amazing.
Yeah, this
How
guy's
does he do that?
a pimp, and he's like a plate spinner. He's got a lot of plate spinning for a while here. She is going back and forth from Panama City, or from Florida where she lives, to Vegas.
Right.
There's a lot of bodybuilding shit going on in Vegas, and she's involved with Kelly Ryan and Craig Titus.
Right.
She's working as their assistant when she goes out there. She's helping out with bodybuilding events. She gets them jobs there. Yeah. They get her jobs there.
And she's paying her, or they're paying her.
They're paying her for her work and stuff like that. So they invite her to live out there. They tell her, the couple, Craig and Kelly, say, come on, Melissa, move out to Las Vegas. We'll help you get set up. You can stay with us till you get set up. You can be our assistant.
Sleep on our couch and shit.
Yeah, we'll get you set up, get you on your feet. Because she liked Vegas. She told her mom, Melissa James, called her mom and told her how much she loved Vegas and she wanted to live there. So, I mean, she really liked it there. She moves into their home. She has her own room. She started out just hanging out, sleeping on the couch. They gave her own room.
Set her up. That's so nice.
Kelly, the whole time, Kelly Ryan is a little jealous of this whole scenario.
Likely, she should be. And that's fucking amazing. When you're married, could you even fathom like bringing a never?
Imagine that setup.
No,
and this
I don't want
James
to.
is attractive too.
Yeah, they're both gorgeous.
Yeah, he has two, and they're both highly competitive, attractive women. So I mean, this is
and he's banging both
disaster.
of them openly in his house.
Recipe for disaster.
It's incredible.
And also, too, later on, he admits to the FBI that they had threesomes and they were kind of having a triangle situation.
That's crazy.
And I don't know why that doesn't come out more, because he said that to the FBI.
Yeah.
I saw the interview thing.
That should just be like a red flag for anybody.
Yeah, they're like, I don't know why this whole thing happened.
Right.
That's a start.
Yeah.
That's a start.
I don't know how there could be conflict. We're fighting over one dick.
It's almost like if I look down on that scenario, I'd go, someone's going to die in this. Someone's going to end up dead. Just based on the shit I've seen over the years. Yeah. No one can survive that.
No.
Especially with everyone's on steroids and drugs. And Melissa James was also very much into drugs. She dug drugs. She was into it.
She loved coke and shit like that.
She liked coke, and then nobody denied that. Even her friends that loved her and said how great person she was. Yeah, she did her things on the side. She's a young girl, fucking around, partying, single girl.
Living in Vegas.
Doesn't have any kids or anything. She's having a ball. Whatever. Do your thing, Melissa.
Right.
So, although she probably would have wished she didn't after a while. So at this point, she's working as their assistant. She's very much into drugs. 2003 comes around. She moves back to Florida at this point, and she starts up a dance company, Melissa James. It's called the Encore Dance Company. While in Florida, life is not going great for Melissa James.
No.
She's arrested numerous times
Yeah,
in Florida.
yeah.
For bad checks
Yep.
and using people's credit cards without
their fucking authorization.
shit like that.
Yeah.
Melissa is not on the up and up
No.
here. She's the girl that likes her coke. And
She's the type of girl that would sleep with a married man.
and his wife.
Right.
And maybe
At the
live in
same
the
time.
house for
Right.
a while and think that was okay.
Maybe do some coke.
We get to 2005. Craig competes in his last competition ever in 2005, not of his own volition. It's the Iron Man competition, 2005. He finishes 6th in that. That's the last time he'll ever compete because shit starts to get a little bit wacky
Yeah.
here. 2005, Melissa James' dance studio goes out of business in Florida. So now she's got these charges and, she's been passing bad checks. So when the studio was open, she wasn't doing very well financially, obviously. She's got a little bit of a drug problem, a little legal problem.
She's got no money.
Now she's got no business,
Right.
no way of making money. Titus and Ryan tell her to move back to Vegas. They said, come on, we'll help you get back on your feet.
Why the hell
you
not?
can work for us till
Yeah.
you get your shit together, blah, blah, blah. She moves back
Extra
into the house.
giner meat to stab.
And especially because Titus and Ryan are opening a new business. And they said, we really need your help with this. They're opening a fitness wear store.
Right.
And they were in the process at this time of ordering the clothes and ordering the merchandise.
Could use your help.
They needed her help in the setup and
We need
whatever.
a new hand around
Somebody
here.
we can trust.
Right.
So James calls her mother every day. Melissa James calls every day saying how exciting everything was. She's just very into everything. This new store is such an exciting venture. Like, she's really excited
She's
about
having
this.
fun.
She's great. Craig, at this point, all the friends say, there's a tension with the girls.
Yeah.
There's a competition thing, unsaid,
Yeah.
and Craig's enjoying it.
Of
He's
course
sitting
he is.
back thinking like, he's like a pimp.
He's got two hot chicks that are fighting over
Who
his
wants
dick.
to be my bottom
That's
bitch?
amazing.
That's what he's doing. He's an asshole, this guy.
He's behaving like a single guy that's like, these chicks are vying for his marriage. You're already married to one of them, asshole. You
that's
can't
the
do
one.
this.
Yeah,
Right.
go hang out with her.
You've already chosen one.
Yeah, move
dumb
the
shit.
other one out in the garage or something. Or I don't fucking know.
Set her up with one of your buddies and stop fucking around.
Yeah, you have a bunch of jacked
You have
up
a
buddies.
right.
Just go.
You got a
find one of them.
wife. You marry a woman so that you always have sex.
Yeah.
I mean, you marry them for multiple reasons,
That's
but
the
that's one of them.
Note to Jimmy's wife. If you're ever wondering why you're married right now, Jimmy just told you.
Your marriage is that's the plan. You fuck her. You fuck her only, and now you've moved this other one in, and now you've created a fucking problem.
I get where he's coming from. but
Listen,
Jesus Christ,
every man
dude.
on earth gets where he's coming from.
No, you just don't even
You just
do
don't
that.
do it.
And honestly, too, who has the energy for that?
No, fuck.
Who has the energy for
Jesus.
that? And I don't mean like a hacky joke, like, who has the energy to have sex with two
Right.
girls? It's not even that. Who has the energy to deal with two human beings?
Right. And
No.
not just two human beings, two women. Let's
Two
be honest.
Super competitive, coked up fucking fitness models. Go
In
away.
between you going to
they're
the gym.
perky.
Here's the other thing.
They're like real estate agents,
You're
these
right.
women.
He's in his 30s.
Yeah.
He's going to the gym constantly.
Yeah, but
He's
he doesn't
working
have
out like
energy for this
crazy.
shit.
You don't have the fucking
but
energy.
he's liking it.
And he loves it.
And so, as the year progresses, as 2005 progresses, Melissa James starts telling her mother she's not so excited anymore.
Yeah.
She's getting uncomfortable.
It's falling apart.
The couple's
Weird.
fighting all the time, and she's in the middle of it, and it's probably half about her, even if it's not specifically stated to be about her. Yeah. So there's an issue there. So she's not really liking it. Things are going weird. This is late, fall of 2005.
Yep.
And then we get to December 2005. It's December 14th.
Christmas time.
Early
Christmas
morning.
time.
Oh, you can hear carolers.
It's beginning to look a lot.
But we're in Vegas, so it's not looking like
No,
Christmas
not
at
at
all.
all.
It's
No.
still looking like June, and it's fucking miserable.
Everything's
So
dead.
We get to the early morning hours. We're talking 4 o'clock in the morning on December 14th, 2005, outside of Vegas on State Route 160. A truck driver's driving, and
That
he
is a two-lane
sees-
road.
That's a two-lane road, and he sees fly by him in succession a red Jaguar.
Uh-oh.
Remember the red Jaguar?
Yeah.
Someone we know
That's
has
a
a red
really
Jaguar.
nice car.
And just a nondescript gray pickup truck.
Yep.
Okay, follow him, and they pass him, whip around him, going really fast. And he said looked like they were attached to each other.
Oh, nice.
Like one was towing the
Yeah.
other. It looked like they were going like so close together.
And they passed him on the road.
Flying.
2 cars pass you.
Flying.
They've
middle
gotta
of the
be
night,
moving, yeah.
4 o'clock in the morning.
Right.
I mean, he's probably doing around the speed limit.
Right.
He doesn't want to get a ticket. He's a trucker,
Right.
and these guys are going.
He's doing
100.
65. They're doing at least 90 minimum.
So a minute later, he goes down the road and he sees the gray pickup truck pull out of the desert.
Yeah.
And fly. He said that the gray pickup truck almost hit him, pulling back onto the road.
Wow.
Gets going, and then he sees 30 seconds later, in his rear view, he sees a big fire going on.
Nice.
There's a big fireball in the desert.
Just raging.
Raging. So he's like, Jesus, what the hell's going on? This poor trucker calls it in, right? He reports the thing. The fire department, this old guy, Chief Draper, his name
What
is.
fucking guy.
This guy was great. I saw an interview with him. He's just this old guy who's like the fire chief in the middle of the desert. And he's just like, I didn't even tell the other guys about it. I took the little truck, I went out there, I put it out on my own. He goes, I see it 10 times, a dozen times a year.
Yeah.
People just for the insurance, they take the cars out there, they set them on fire.
That's awesome.
It's common, you know.
It's
He's
Vegas.
like, whatever. He goes, so I do that.
People
That's what he
got
said
debts.
too. He's like, it happens all the time. So he goes, I go out there and I put it out, and he's like, what's the big deal? And I'm poking around the car just to make sure, whatever.
Yeah.
And he goes, I move a cushion, and I see a red jacket and an arm.
Oh, God.
He goes, oh, okay, now we got a problem.
Yeah.
So he calls it into the police, obviously.
Thank God he's a good person.
Yeah, well, he's a fire chief,
Yeah.
poor guy in the desert. Yeah, at least he did. That's the thing. At least the story didn't take an even more awkward turn than, the fire chief rapes the corpse.
the fucking corpse.
With our stories, you never know.
You never know.
You really never know. There
Thank
could
God
be
this is the one person in Vegas that's on the up and up.
There's a corpse raping around the corner at any time, guys. Crime and sports, where there's a corpse raping around the corner at all times. Tell your friends. Holy shit. So, Jesus Christ. So the cops get there, police get there, the body is so badly burned, they can't even make heads or tails of it. All they can tell is that they believe it's a female based on the jewelry that it's wearing. Okay. Looks like something a female would wear.
And a female owns that car.
And it's very tiny, the body, too. It's a small body, and not very tiny like a child, but it's obviously not
small
a
in stature,
man.
Right. It's definitely not. If it is a man, it's a very, very old man.
They believe it to be a female. They get the plate number of the car, which, because the plate's still on the car, burned up, but they can still make out the plate number, and it comes back to Kelly Ryan.
Yeah.
They see there's a woman owns this car, woman in the trunk.
Yep.
That's probably Kelly Ryan.
Right.
So they assume Kelly Ryan's dead in the back of the trunk, back of the trunk of the car at this point, which we all do right now.
Absolutely.
In this story, Kelly Ryan's fucking dead, right? Okay. So that morning,
Cops go.
3 homicide detectives go to the Titus Ryan home and knock on the door, and they're expecting to be telling someone that their wife, mother, whoever is dead. You know what I mean? And our door opens. Guess who answers it?
Kelly Ryan.
Kelly Ryan. Hi, officers. How you doing? And they're like, first of all,
What the fuck?
All righty. Well, that's curveball number 1.
Yeah.
Didn't expect that one. So they're confused there. She doesn't act surprised at all to see them. She acts like it's all good. She said, I was just about to call you guys.
Thank God you guys are here,
Thank
homicide
God you're
detectives.
here. My car got stolen last night.
Can you guys file a report for me, homicide detectives?
My car got stolen. That's what. There's a body in it. My goodness, I would have never thought. She said she went to bed that last night. Went to bed early, get her beauty sleep.
Yeah.
Wake up early, went down to the garage. Car's gone. What the hell happened? Next thing you know, you're at my door. This explains it. Okay,
That's
good.
my story.
Easy to go, right? They tell her there's a body in her trunk and whatever. So out of nowhere, the police, or Kelly Ryan here, tells the police about Melissa James all out of nowhere. They didn't even know Melissa James existed.
They had no idea who the fuck that was.
They had no clue who it was. And she just said, Melissa James is our assistant. I don't know if she was trying to... I don't know what she was trying to do, but it was stupid. Whatever
Yeah.
she was trying to...
She's just trying to show them. She's like, look, I'll do your job for you. We
it's
have an
comfortable.
assistant.
Yeah,
she disappeared.
I don't know if she thought that they knew that the assistant disappeared or that
Right.
they knew that she was there. I don't know what she
She
thought.
thought
But she brings
I'll bet she
Melissa James
assumed
up.
that they had already ID'd the body.
Possibly,
Right.
possibly. But they thought it was her. I mean, they were
Right.
like, wow, we thought it was you.
That's
You know
so
what I mean?
weird that
was
you're talking to us
yeah.
right now, giving us a full story of what happened to your car.
Well, she is saying maybe Melissa stole her
Right.
car because she says that the day before they had a fight. Melissa was on drugs, and that they suspected Melissa had used their credit cards, which she had a history of doing. So that she, whatever, and also that money from the house had gone missing. So that she said they confronted her. It all fits. So they confronted Melissa James the day before, and they said, "Look, we can't use you anymore." And they said that they paid for a hotel for her for 2 days for Melissa James and bought her a plane ticket back to Florida. Now, right away, the cops are like,
Why would you do that?
If this person's stealing from you, why wouldn't you just boot him out and
What is
say,
wrong with
go
you?
fuck yourself?
It's not a normal thing to do.
Yeah, go suck dick for $5.
How about be pissed
I don't care.
for a minute?
Yeah, no, they
Why do you have
said,
so much compassion for
why are
somebody
you
that stole
helping
from
this
you?
person?
Right.
Yeah, it was a very odd thing. So anyway, Craig Titus tells them that he picked Melissa up on the morning of the 13th, the day before, picked her up from the motel to take her back to the house to get the rest of her belongings. And Kelly said that she then dropped Melissa off at a nearby convenience store. Hasn't seen her since. No idea. Have a nice day, officers. Yep. That's the deal. They tell her they think that possibly James broke back into the home and stole the car. That's what they suspect.
That's their story.
So, who knows what she did after that.
Right.
That's their theory. She's a drug addict. She's
a lunatic.
Fucked with somebody.
Steals
and
money.
Next thing you know, that's how you end up in the trunk of a car. It's on fire. You do all that shit. So they have no idea how she could have died. That's beyond, beyond
crazy
them.
that she's dead.
And they also said they knew nothing about the gray pickup truck.
Yep.
And the cops could see, it's one of those garages with the windows above. The cops looked in and they could see his pickup truck there, which is not a gray pickup truck.
Right.
It's a very distinctive Dodge Viper
very
truck, as you described.
You can tell that ain't a normal pickup truck.
You wouldn't say a normal gray pickup truck if you saw that.
It's got a fucking spoiler on it.
It's ridiculous. The things are ridiculous. It's a tiny dickmobile. Right. It's like as if your steroid body didn't already say, look, please don't look at my tiny cock.
Yeah.
Now you have a
Stare
truck
at my
that's
shoulders,
got
not my
400
dick.
horsepower. They see that. They have police at this point still don't even know who the body is. They don't even know the body's Melissa James at this point. They're just whatever. They're trying to put it together. It's almost like they're trying to put in an excuse before it's there.
Right.
They should have just waited till they said it was Melissa James and then said, that figures that she would have
makes
stolen my
sense,
car.
yeah.
Like they were trying to set it up a little too helpful.
Way too quick.
That's
too quick to be fucking Sherlock Holmes.
Too helpful is one of the things that police actually look at for killers, if they're guilt or not. They look for not helpful at all and too helpful.
Right.
Those two
you
things
want
are
to
bad.
stay middle.
Yeah. It's like when they're interviewing someone, they go, if they blink too much, they don't blink enough. Right. It's like, what is there? Like you can't win,
you
basically.
son of a bitch.
If we think they're guilty, we're going to find their blinks to be at the wrong pace.
And meanwhile, the body, unrecognizable. The arms were burned off.
Oh, yeah.
The feet were burned off.
Burned up good.
They had no fingerprints to go off. This is just
bad.
it's a body with no hands and feet.
And now the next day.
But here goes the curveball.
Well, the 14th, this next morning, Maura James, who is Melissa James' mother, goes to pick up Melissa at the airport in Florida. She's not on the plane.
She's not there.
She's like, where the hell's Melissa? So she's blowing up Melissa's phone. She's not answering. She calls Craig Titus, leaves him a message, blows up his phone. No one's answering.
No answer.
She's worried that something happened to all of them at this point.
Yeah.
They're like, did someone break in and, home invasion and kill them all or something? They have no idea. Next thing you know, Maura James gets a call from her ex-husband telling them that he got a call from the Las Vegas coroner and that Maura has to call the coroner.
That's so sad.
So Maura at this point starts getting a little worried. When you get a call saying, hey, call the coroner in the city where your daughter lives who you can't find.
Stop calling hospitals to find out if everybody's okay.
And let's just call the coroner.
Just call the end game.
So at this point, they told her they suspect the body that they found in the desert is Melissa.
Yeah.
And so obviously the mother is super distraught.
Dying.
Medical examiner said the body was 70 to 80% burned. Like I said, the fingers were destroyed. It needed DNA testing to be 100% positive. The 15th, now the next day, the autopsy begins. We get right into it. They start taking stuff apart because everything's like burned to her. They notice that there's something on her face and her neck, and they feel it's duct tape. Her face.
That shit didn't burn.
Her face. Now, okay. They took the duct tape off her face. Her face was in perfect condition.
Holy shit.
She's 100% charred. Face
perfect.
Exactly like her photograph, they
Duct
said.
tape is amazing.
This is the best commercial for duct tape
ever.
I don't give a shit. You can show the Mythbuster guys make a boat out of it. You can wrap a girl's face in it, set her ablaze, and she'll still be gorgeous.
Not just
this
her.
Is insane.
Put her in a vehicle that has a gas tank.
No, blow shit up.
It's a fucking bomb.
Nothing.
Light it on fire. Her face is impeccable.
It looked like her picture, they said. It was creepy. Like it looked amazing.
Looked like her driver's
Everything
license.
else burned perfect face.
Unbelievable.
Like, teeth white still. Incredible. Duct tape is fucking amazing.
Duct tape.
This episode of Crime and Sports brought to you by duct tape. Wrap your body in duct tape before you burn it. All right. Crime and Sports new sponsors here this week. They couldn't determine the cause of death yet. They did a blood test, found high concentration, lethal concentration of opiates in the blood, evidence of strangulation.
Yeah.
So she has drugs that could have killed her, strangulation that could have killed her.
Yeah.
She's got duct tape around her and she was on fire. I have no fucking clue what
That's a
happened
hell
to
of a
this girl.
suicide.
Yeah, who knows? Yeah, exactly. They list the cause of death as undetermined, which comes back pretty big later.
That's a big deal.
Police immediately focus on Titus and Ryan, obviously, because their story is ridiculous.
Doesn't make any fucking sense.
And they are the ones that know her the
Way
best,
too
and she lives
forthcoming.
there. Yeah.
Right.
So police wonder, again, like we said, why they'd pay for all this shit for someone who was thieving from them.
Right.
So they start questioning their friends and family. Now we start finding out some information. When they start questioning friends and family, they found out about the affair. They found out that this was an ongoing affair, that things were very
I'd love to
weird
see the
over
cop's
there.
face when one of his friends is like, yeah, he was sleeping with both of them. The cop would be like, fuck out of here.
How did this
he
idiot do that? God damn it.
I've been working on that for months.
My wife's hideous, and I can't even get her to fuck me. That's what they're all saying to each other. Now this guy gets 2 fitness models.
2 hot broads.
Yeah.
Unbelievable.
So Maura James said that Melissa spoke to her last time she talked to her that Ryan was acting very paranoid lately, was doing drugs lately, and acting really kind of freaked out. She was on something one night and saying how she was positive there was people on the roof, and she kept looking out the windows, which is just total coke behavior.
fuck?
That's just coke behavior.
Yeah,
I've been up on coke for 2 days.
that's a lot.
There's shit outside.
That's really that's really hitting it hard, though.
It's cokey, yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, Christ, who knows? She probably hasn't eaten well, and she's working out and doing coke. Her heart's
She's
probably ready to
furious
pop.
that her husband wants to fuck other women.
And they can't. And the police at this point, they want to charge them. They suspect them, but they can't figure out the truck.
Yeah.
And they have to know that.
That's key.
That's key
That's
because
so key
that's
to this.
how they got out of
Right.
it. So they're like, how did this
And
happen?
they don't own that truck.
They don't own the truck
Right.
at all. They have no. So police at this point start getting phone records of theirs. They get in phone records of Craig and Kelly, and they find that over a dozen calls were made from the couple on the 13th and early morning 14th when this happened.
When they were supposed to be in bed.
To a buddy of Craig's, a bodybuilding buddy of his, like a gym rat, who was like, they all called him a groupie of Craig's. Like he was not a competitive bodybuilder, but just a guy that worked out with him, was like, hey Craig, can I put another plate on for you, Craig? Hey Craig, what are you putting in that shake,
He's
Craig?
like that open micer that like shows up to a show.
Exactly.
And then Dave Attell gets off stage and he can't wait to ask him, hey, when did you start comedy? How did you start comedy? What's your favorite joke?
Be on the podcast? That guy, It's this guy. He's got a podcast, I'm sure. So this is Anthony Gross. Gross, because they find the phone records of him connecting, the police want to have a little chat with this young gentleman and see what the fuck they wanted on the early morning of the 14th. Gross comes in on the 19th of December with his attorney. So right there,
that's a red flag.
You come in with an attorney, you go, this guy's probably got some shit to say at this point. Yeah, he's not coming in to say, I don't know what you're talking about.
He's got a key to this investigation.
So Anthony admits that it was his gray pickup truck.
There's the key.
He owns a pickup truck.
There it is.
Now there's
your golden skeleton key.
There's a thread sticking way out now. This is starting to unravel here. He admits it's his truck, says that Titus called him on the 13th and asked him for a favor. That's all he said. He said, hey, man, I need a favor from you. Him being the good little groupie he was, said, sure, buddy, what do you need?
Yeah.
And this tragedy ensued here. He says that he was the one driving the truck. He was following the couple, and he was driving the truck and picked them up in the desert.
He's a hell of a driver.
He's a hell of a friend, this guy.
Yeah.
This guy is a loyal guy. Surveillance video from a local gas station right by their house, the Titus and James Ryan house, sees them pulling in together. They do not see who's in the Jaguar by the film, but they see Gross buying a gas can full of gas. So it was like $2.66 worth of gas.
Yeah.
That doesn't look good.
No.
He's seen on video buying that. Now, at this point, too, police also find financial records. They start digging into bank records for this couple. They find a purchase from a Walmart right by their house at 3:30 a.m.
When they were supposed to be sleeping.
They're supposed to be sleeping, and the car's being stolen on the 14th. And also surveillance
from the Walmart
of Kelly
Ryan
walking through the Walmart buying juice. She needed a juice. She was thirsty. Barbecue tools, like a backyard barbecue set they bought.
Tongs and a fucking spatula.
It was like a backyard barbecue set. And 7 64-ounce bottles of lighter fluid.
Yeah, I want a barbecue.
Do you know how
at
much?
4 a.m.
Okay. It's 3:30 a.m.
ounces.
7 of those. Now, it's 3:30 a.m. I get that Vegas is a crazy town. Okay, I understand that. People do weird shit. You do not need several hundred fluid ounces of lighter fluid.
Those barbecue tongs, though, are key to this
You
whole
need
thing.
that.
Because if you show up at the register with
just
seven,
that?
yeah, with
I
just
feel
that,
like that's what it was.
Yeah,
I
it's
feel
exactly
like-
what it was.
I feel like they were like, we need to.
They're not going to believe that I'm just buying a
Okay, I'll buy
Jamba
a barb.
Juice.
Yeah. We really need to get how wet is the wood you're trying to use? Like, where did you find this charcoal where you need?
Are you barbecuing an entire fucking farm of
you
pigs?
need 400 ounces of lighter fluid to fucking set something ablaze. That's so much lighter
And just
fluid.
one set of tongs, please.
64 ounces. Think about a 40.
Yeah.
Another half of one
This
of those.
water right here is 40 ounces
Yeah.
that I'm drinking. That's a 40. That is
Times 7.
times 7.
Insane.
Times 7.
So that doesn't look good for them. Then they have surveillance video of the outside parking lot of the Jaguar pulling up to pick her up.
Yeah.
Her and Craig Titus gets out of the driver's seat, helps her put the lighter fluid and shit in the back seat of the car.
Why would they do that?
Don't open the trunk.
Why would you put fucking flammable shit in the car?
Well, you don't want it in the trunk probably because you don't
there's
want
a
to pop that
goddamn
trunk.
body in there.
Because there's a young girl, a young fitness model in there. So after they find this on the 19th, on the 20th, the judge issues an arrest warrant for Titus and Ryan, who had been the police go to their home to serve the warrant. They're not there. They don't look like they're going to be there anytime soon. They basically...
The favor, real quick.
Yeah.
The favor that he asked him to help him with was just to get rid of the car.
That's
right?
it.
He said, just follow me out in the desert. I just got to get rid of this car.
I got to
That's
get
it.
rid of the car.
So
You drive me
Gross
back.
is just like, yeah, cool.
I'm sure
in.
Gross knows what's going on.
He's gotta
because
know.
they ended up telling other people.
They
too.
had to.
They're-
They had to have opened that trunk and sprayed
They did.
lighter fluid in there.
You know they did just
Yeah.
to make sure.
Right,
Let's
right,
make
right.
sure she catches
Right.
on fire.
We need that part
they
of the
might have
car
told him
to
to sit
burn.
in the car. I don't know, but Gross says that they just said, "Hey, help me with dispose
Right.
of this car," is what he said. So anyway, apparently they have been going around town, hiding out, not in their house, staying at a friend's house one night, another friend's house another night, trying to get their financial ducks in a row to take the fuck off and get out of here because they want to run. They've been talking to their friends about going to a country that doesn't have extradition, like trying to figure out that. I
Hey,
guess
where are you guys gonna go? Oh, where are you?
his dad's Greek, I guess.
And they're not
he
telling
was talking about
everybody
going
we
to Greece.
killed somebody. They're
No.
just saying, no, we just got to get out of here.
Well,
where are you going to go?
no.
Do you know anywhere that has no extradition laws?
This is all over the news.
Oh, is it?
Once
Okay.
that car, there's a body found in
All
a
right.
burned out car in the
All right.
desert. That shit was hot shit on the news. And then once their names got in with their local celebrities,
Yeah.
so this is like
That's a
hot
big deal.
news.
All
and
right.
they're saying they don't even know they're wanted. In the end, they say we didn't even know we were wanted. Horse shit.
Sure.
Everyone knows you're wanted.
Sure.
And also too, how do you hide out if you're this guy?
You
stand
don't.
out
Yeah,
like
yeah.
a sore fucking thumb. Like
You're very
you're
conspicuous.
You're 5'8" and
Right.
as wide as a house.
I don't
People
give a shit
understand- yeah.
what mask you don.
And you're
It's
on
gonna be
every
pretty
magazine in the grocery store. People know who you are. So they think they're going. So they told a friend. They tell people everything. Everything they get in trouble for is because they just told people
'Cause
shit
they're
they didn't have to
just
tell
fucking
them. They didn't. If they just shut the fuck up, none of this shit would have happened. All they had to do was go, I don't know, and not tell
He
anybody.
kept his dick in his face.
Over.
Yeah.
They could have gotten away with this.
Yeah.
Crime in sports rule number fucking 9. Don't tell your friends when you want to run from federal authorities. Don't tell them, okay?
Tell
Stop that.
nobody anything.
Tell no one anything.
Fucking
Shut
Whitey
the fuck
Bulger
up.
disappeared. He didn't tell anybody shit. He
No.
disappeared. He was in fucking
was
Hermosa
smart.
Beach for 30 years.
He shut the
He
fuck
He
up.
didn't tell anybody shit.
And if he did tell people, they were hardened gangsters, not the people this guy ends up telling, okay?
He's not telling some asshole in Gold's Gym.
He told a friend that they were going to Boston to
Right.
stay at a friend's house, gave him the address and everything, told him where they were going, in case you need us. So
I love your Christmas cards.
Yeah,
I'm going to be
so-
in Boston.
these people tell the cops that because they don't want to be involved. The
He told us to send his Christmas cards there.
Yeah, he just said send all his roids there. He said send all of his supplements and all of his
Can you
fucking
send all my
protein
no
shakes.
explode?
So they contact the FBI Fugitive Recovery Office in Boston there. The feds surveil that address in Boston, and they're just waiting for him at this point. So they end up... the people, how they got this information also, too, there's people named Melissa Pearson and her fiance Jeremy Foley. We'll just call them the Foleys because they ended up getting married. Now they're the Foleys.
All right.
At the time, they weren't. They contact Las Vegas police here. This is the 22nd of December.
All right.
They are friends of Ryan and Titus. They said that Ryan, such good friends that Ryan was supposed to be a bridesmaid at her wedding.
Wow.
So, I mean, they're close, right?
Yeah.
This is how close they are, that they think they can trust them, or they try to set up some kind of weird alibi with them. They said that they were invited over their house on the 13th of December for drinks. They got invited to Titus and Ryan's house. They were not asked for any favors like Gross was. And everybody, like we said, the police all thought it was an alibi attempt. They told the couple told them that they had kicked Melissa out because she was a drug addict. They brought out like needles with blood on them and said, "Look, she's shooting up."
She's been doing some bad
and
shit.
A bag of crystal meth, or what they said was crystal meth. Like, we found this in her room.
It's just flour.
Setting up an alibi. Well, yeah, maybe, or Ryan was doing it because she liked the old meth, and so did he. Fuck it, why not? So Megan said that at this point, the Megan Pearson Foley girl said that Kelly then took her aside and told her the truth about that the night before, or that night. Said that earlier that day a fight broke out between the two of the women, Kelly and Melissa James.
Aside. This is great.
They got in a big fight, such a bad fight that Titus found them fighting. Craig found them fighting and broke them apart and took, obviously, his wife's side, took Kelly's side, said that Melissa kept fighting him. So he said he was body slamming her. She said he was body slamming her and punching her and hitting her and getting her in a chin lock, and she wouldn't stop fighting. I can already
see how the fight was going. Like, as you're describing it, I can hear the screaming. You said my pussy was tighter, or some shit. You know what I mean?
Who the hell
I
knows?
have better tits. You said so.
And they're fitness models. Who knows what they're yelling at each other?
You said my biceps were better.
This is not sexist. These are fitness models. Women, you should hate them too because they're morons.
Oh, I don't care. I'll go sexist.
I'm just saying. This here, fuck you, Peg. You know what I'm talking about. That's an inside joke, but you'll get it anyway. Sorry. So Craig, at this point, Craig says that that he got her in a chin lock. Tells this Melissa Foley that he got her, or Megan Foley that he got her in a chin lock,
and then just
demonstrates it.
Oh my God! He showed her.
Showed the Megan Pearson Foley girl how he had his arm around her, on her.
Wow.
She said she was scared shitless, obviously, because they just
don't
admitted
flex,
to
please.
killing someone in front of her. And then he's like, watch, let me choke you. You don't know if he's going to go, and I'll keep choking you because I just admitted I killed someone in front of you. That's what I would think.
Absolutely.
So, they, they're like, hey, okay, it's been a fun night. Been a good time, but we gotta go. They leave in terror, obviously. They didn't know if the story was true, what they were saying. They thought they were just making something up until they saw the reports on the news. And also, they found something odd, that as they were leaving the house, Craig gave them a duffel bag.
Gave him a little gift.
Literally gave him a duffel bag and just said, hey, hang on to that for me. I'll let you know when I need it back.
I'll get it back from you later.
Don't look at it. Literally said that like they did in The Godfather 2.
That's not odd at all.
To Vito Corleone when he lived down in Little Italy there, and he had the thing of guns, and he opened it in the bathtub, and he didn't know what to do. That's what this is. But they didn't open it, they say. They contact their lawyer when they see the story on the news, and they say, what should we do? And they said, well, you should go to the fucking police. So they go to the police with their lawyer, and that's where a lot of this information comes from.
I know what happened here.
What?
Megan's sitting there with Foley on the couch. The fucking 5 o'clock news comes on and shows that these two are on the run, and she goes, that bitch.
Yeah.
She's trying to ruin my wedding. She's supposed to be my bridesmaid.
No,
she's on the fucking run. And he's like, no, don't worry about it, babe. I'll just take one of my groomsmen out. We'll have even numbers on each side. No, fuck her. No. It's not about that.
It's my day.
Fuck her. She thinks she's going to run. We know something about her.
She was probably mad that she was stealing attention from her wedding day. She's like, oh my God, now at the wedding.
She thinks she's better than me.
Everyone's just going to talk about her at the wedding now. It's supposed to be my day. Do you understand? We're supposed to talk about how beautiful I look, how happy that we look, how nice that we are, what a handsome guy you are.
Go get that duffel bag, open it up. There's something in there.
Talk
There's
about my
gotta
dress.
be.
Okay. So
call the police now.
Now. So anyway,
that's how it happened. Anyway,
we get to Christmas Eve here. Also, too, they give the police the bag. I might as well tell you this now. The contents of the bag.
Yes.
The contents of the bag, drum roll here, contained a taser and a bunch of duct tape. That's not good.
That's weird.
That's weird.
Why would you get this back from me at another time if
so
you definitely did not kill somebody?
Cops are really interested in finding Titus and Ryan at this point, having a little chat with them and seeing what's going on. So at this point, we get to the 23rd of December of 2005. They find Titus sitting in his truck, I mean, it's a totally conspicuous vehicle, and he drives. This is what they choose.
She's got this big flash truck.
Yeah, this is what they choose to drive to Boston in, because this is where they find them outside.
Well, the truck will do 140. You may as well.
So they're found outside of Boston in a parking lot of a strip mall.
Fucking strip mall.
He's out in the truck. They find him out in the truck. He's taken without incident. Kelly is inside of a salon in there. Got her hair dyed, I guess, to look different, and she got a pedicure, too. Just because she wanted to feel good about herself. You vapid...
You dumb bitch.
Fucking dumbass.
You dumb... And you know he's sitting in his truck when he sees the agent pull up, and he's like, she had to get her fucking nails done.
She had to get her fucking nails done. God damn this lady. So, yeah, she just... I can see her sitting there
Hope you got a French, you dumb bitch.
I want my feet to feel good. I just want to... So...
Did you get the sea salt? Did you get it?
They right away, and they interview him in Boston.
Yeah.
The FBI starts interviewing him right away.
Hell
Get to see what he knows here. At first, this is a great in their own words. This is Titus blaming a meth dealer named Eddie. This is him named Eddie, which is the best name for a
He
meth
just rocked
dealer.
up the best degenerate white man name he can think of. It's just this dude named Eddie.
Excuse me. Through the whole interview, he goes through different things, but his first thing is about Eddie. He says, in their own words, quote, "He's a real cool drug dealer, you know, pay me or I'll kill you type. Fucking idiot. I'll tell you something right now. If I find this fucking guy before you guys do, I'm going to fuck him up. I'll call you when I do." End quote.
He's a real cool
That's what he
drug
says to
dealer.
the FBI. And he also says, "I'm looking for him as much as you guys are, because if he killed
What are you, OJ, you fuck?
if he killed my side piece, I'm going after him." So... ridiculous. At this point, I guess from being on the run, he is down to 225 pounds from his normal 260, so he's looking a little deflated, which is odd. Here's another... Jesus
Meanwhile,
Christ.
too, we have a dead body. We don't know how it died.
No.
We
Still
don't-
undetermined by the medical examiner.
Yeah. And this guy's out there just saying there's a real cool drug dealer that probably did this.
Real cool, you know, pay me or I'll kill you type. You know how they are.
Real cool.
You know how those drug dealers are, all of them.
Cool.
He just made up a Vegas drug dealer named Eddie. So he's a meth dealer.
Real cool meth dealer.
Type of guy that if you didn't pay him, he'd like put you in the trunk of your own car and set it on fire in the desert. That
Hangs
kind of guy.
outside
You
the
know.
Riviera.
Yeah, that guy. Waiting for Art Schleister to come drop some bets. It's the only thing missing from this
sad
story.
that I'm laughing so hard.
Art Schleister robbing them blind after they... This is the people he should have been conning, these two idiots. So at this point, the FBI says that he admits to the threesomes that they were having.
Yep.
It was a little love triangle. And this is another, in their own words, from the initial interview on the 24th.
Great.
And this is his explanation of what happened, okay? He basically said that they came in the garage and found her in the Jaguar in the front seat, OD'd and dead.
All right.
Okay, that's the story.
Right.
They walked in, they were like, "Oh fuck," and he said he's such a dick too. He's like, "She's in there stinking up my car, being dead." That's literally what he said. So real compassionate guy.
Yeah.
And then he says, so he picked her up and he said, "She's real heavy. I think I might have dropped her too. I don't even know." And he goes, "So we didn't know what to do, so we put her in the trunk and we taped up her face." And like he was trying to say, like he said, like, "Look, my wife's one of the top fitness models in the world. You know, I get my endorsements. I do all this. We can't be seen as like
Can't have a dead body around.
We can't be seen with an OD'd girl in the house because that will ruin our careers."
Who does he think he is? Fucking,
Literally.
He thinks he's...
Like he's running for fucking Senate or something. Excuse me, Senator. No, you're a bodybuilder. Everyone knows you're a scumbag,
Yeah.
but I guess it would be bad because I guess there's still in the bodybuilding world, even though everyone knows that you cannot look like that unless you take fucking steroids,
Right.
there's still this thing where some people try to be like, "No, this is a very clean
I
sport."
totally did this with celery.
There's still a thing out there where some people are denying it. And all the bodybuilders, once they get out of the business, they're like, "Of course we were all on everything we could shove in our body."
You fucking believe me when I
gave
said,
you the list. That was what the guy was saying. He's
Yeah.
like, "Yeah, this is what we all did.
Yeah.
This is like the typical thing."
You think I'm just sitting around snacking on celery and peanut butter all day, and that's how I get this big?
He says, this is in their own words, quote, this is about what I just said. This is a continuation of it. He says, quote, "We just basically got rid of a body, and now we're gonna explain it. If I really wanted to burn her and it was a murder, I would have dug a hole out in the desert and dumped her in the hole and burned the car myself. You know what I mean? It's that simple. Nobody ever found her. My car would be burned and stolen. End of story."
Yeah.
So he's like, How fucking dumb do you think I am? Like, I didn't kill her and then put her out there.
I think
just
you're
put
so
her out
dumb
there.
that you think I would believe that story.
Yeah, but that's like saying I didn't care if the body got found because I didn't kill her, so it didn't really matter.
Right.
Either way,
you
if
don't
you
even
wanted to
care
get rid
that
of her,
she's dead.
No,
because you said she was stinking up your fucking car.
No.
I may have dropped her a couple of times. I taped up her face.
This
You
interview's
don't give a
ridiculous.
shit about
No,
her.
This interview is ridiculous with him. He's such a dick. He said. Now Ryan said same thing. Ryan said that she found Melissa dead. She said that she found Melissa dead. Kelly Ryan and found Melissa dead of an overdose in the garage, and they were concerned with publicity. Gave the same story.
Yeah.
I mean, the exact same thing. Told the detectives that the Foleys also saw the body. But they didn't know that the Foleys. They don't know shit about.
They don't
all
know
that.
the Foleys already gave a story.
They don't know anything about this. Now, at this point, they ask him about the taser.
Oh, whoopsie-daisy.
And he goes, I mean, white as a fucking
Oh, I'll
ghost.
bet.
And he had no. He was just like, I don't know.
What taser?
Taser? Like he did like cartoon like. What's
a
It was
taser?
ridiculous. What's a taser? I've heard of tasers, but I don't really know what they do. I'm not sure. So at this point, he's brought back to
and
Vegas.
not just like a stun gun that's a handheld. This is
No,
a
no.
legit, like,
It's a
what cops carry
a legit police
taser.
taser.
It's
badass.
a gun taser that shoots the
Yeah.
flying fish hooks that snap into you and you electrocute them through the wire.
He's charged with murder, unlawful flight, arson, a whole bunch of shit, just initially, just to get charges on him. They indict
to
him on
lock
stuff
him up.
later. In February of 2006, the judge denies bail to both of them.
Nice.
Says, you guys are going to wait this out in here until we figure this whole deal out. He pleads not guilty, and then he says he's going to plead guilty, and then goes back to not guilty. He has it's a really weird thing. He says that now at this point too, there's a guy named Ronald Brady Jr. And he's got a case going on in the same time because he's accused of a murder for hire plot with Titus and Ryan to kill 3 witnesses. Guess who those 3 witnesses are?
Foley's
and Mr. Gross in the gray pickup truck, obviously. Now, they don't have enough evidence that this is at Titus and Ryan's instruction, so they can't charge Titus and Ryan.
Damn it.
But this guy gets 8 to 25 years in prison
Oh,
for
shit.
the plot to kill these people
Oh,
for
my God.
conspiracy. But they don't know who he's conspiring with because they don't have the evidence.
Right.
But they know who it is, obviously. Insane. So at this point, they have this court appearance. Titus walks into his first Vegas court appearance, real arrogant, chest out, just arrogant. Kelly Ryan is there also, and he turns to Kelly and mouths, "Don't say nothing" to her. That's his mouth's words. Just
Nobody will see this. Don't
Yeah.
say nothing.
And so through these hearings, the friends testified that he used morphine, OxyContin. Ryan liked her meth.
Yeah.
They're just basically saying what scumbags they are. Now, what they find out about the taser
Awesome.
is extremely, extremely incriminating.
Awesome.
The taser records the date and time of every discharge in its cartridge,
wow.
in its memory.
That's awesome.
Everyone. So the
That's
gun,
amazing.
It's amazing. So they find
I'll bet he
out-
didn't know that.
He didn't fucking know any of that. He finds out
There's
some
a
interesting
bombshell.
shit. He didn't know it. Later on, or in the initial FBI interview, he asked them, "Did you find my steroids when you searched the house?"
Yeah.
And they said, "Yes, we did." And he goes, "Some kind of fucking investigation you guys have. That's pretty good." He was impressed that they
Like,
found
those were hidden really
he
well.
had a good hiding space
Yeah.
for him apparently, but couldn't hide the times that the taser was fired.
That's amazing.
Turns out on the afternoon of the 13th of December 2005, it was fired 6 times in a 2-minute period.
Oh my God.
6 times in a
Oh,
2-minute
that poor
period.
girl.
Also, every time it's fired, it shoots out a little tiny piece of foil.
Oh, it covers the prongs on the...
Tiny
yeah.
piece of foil with the gun's specific serial number
Oh,
on it.
Jesus.
So it is
Oh,
undeniably linked
dead
to
nuts.
that gun.
It's you, bro.
You're fucked.
Yeah.
So the police search Titus's home. They find these foils in several different locations.
Oh, no. What is he, chasing her around the fucking house?
I think he was zapping her, dragging her, zapping her again.
Wow.
Because they were trying to get her out to the
And
garage.
when you
It
have
was
those
bad,
things,
man.
I think they have...
This is horrible.
I think
It
they
really
have
is.
2 shots in one cartridge.
I don't know.
I think it's 2. It may only be 1. Either way, he's reloading this.
This is fucking
the
horrible.
point.
This is just horrible,
That's
man. This
terrible.
whole thing is terrible. This girl, I don't know what...
She took a beating.
I don't know what she did, but obviously nobody deserves this.
No.
But Jesus Christ, this is
That's
overkill.
overkill.
They, at this point, on March 24th, 2006, they're indicted, both of them, on murder with use of a deadly weapon, kidnapping, and arson charges.
And now he's presented with the evidence of, because you have to get the evidence. So he's told, by the way, we have your stun gun given to us from the Foleys that you gave to them.
Yep.
And it has the time and everything recorded.
It's a mountain. It's a mountain of evidence.
Too much.
The defense at this, they decide now to file to have the charges dismissed, because the state hasn't proven that it's even murder, because it's still undetermined. And the state was like, how the hell do we get this through? Because, Jesus Christ, it is undetermined.
Right.
I mean, she had so much drugs. People say she'd like drugs. Maybe
the coroner can't say it was murder.
They might be able to muddy the waters with some reasonable doubt here, is what they're thinking. The defense insists it's a drug overdose. It's still ruled undetermined. In court, he eventually has to plead guilty later on, but now they're in jail. Kelly becomes real into Christianity in jail, of course. Of course. Because why not be an asshole?
Desperation. Hail Mary.
Yeah, he's in May of 2006. He talks to Muscle Missions magazine, or Muscle Missions, which is like a religious bodybuilding organization. And they're trying to do an expose on steroids and all this, and he is happy to talk to them.
Can't wait.
I heard the interview, and he's saying, like, you know how much steroids are being used in the sport? He's like, look at this guy, look at this guy. Look at the size of that guy's fucking head. Look at his head 2 years ago. He's on shit I don't even know what he's on anymore. These guys are crazy. They end up pleading guilty on May 30th, 2008, after a 7-hour plea negotiation.
Whoa.
So they were really...
Those usually just fucking open and shut.
This is 7 hours of... Because they're dealing with years, charges.
Right.
The problem is, here's why the negotiation took so long. Craig wants to just take the rap. He doesn't want Kelly Ryan being involved.
All of a sudden he wants to be a good guy.
He wants to get his wife out of this shit. So
That's
he's
nice.
trying to get the most for him with the less for her.
Right.
That's the 7-hour negotiation. Eventually, it negotiate out to... He will plead guilty to second-degree murder, first-degree kidnapping, and first-degree arson with a 21 to 51-year sentence.
Whoa.
That's no shit.
That's
a heavy
bulky
one.
Sentence. That's tough.
And Ryan will receive charges of battery with a deadly weapon and arson. And she's sentenced to 6 to 26 years. And it's two consecutive
that's such a big window.
It's two consecutive 3 to 13-year sentences. So that's how it works. It's a very big window, and we'll get into some of her recent attempts at parole.
I love it.
At the sentencing,
That's such a teaser though, with like a 6 to 26.
You're
You're like, I can do 7, and I'm gonna be fine. I'll get out.
Can
and
I
then
do
you
25?
Get to that I cannot
I don't know if I can do 25. Titus in court says, in their own words, quote, "There's nothing I can do to bring her back. I'm so sorry." I don't think you are.
I don't think you are either. Because you're trying to be a good
you were
guy
mad
now.
She stunk up your car.
Yeah, exactly.
Car, asshole.
You duct taped her fucking face.
So right now, they just got sentenced.
Yeah.
And also, too, Melissa James' mother, who was going through all, she died during the proceedings.
God,
she had a
there's
heart
no
attack
closure.
and died. She had a heart attack and died before the whole thing was over. Also, I think Kelly's her father, I think, died during the whole thing.
Yeah.
But James doesn't get that. Poor Melissa James is burned beyond recognition with a very nice duct tape face.
Beautiful face.
But the rest of her is destroyed.
It's gone.
Kelly Ryan's not going to be a fitness model in jail.
No.
Craig Titus has had his last competition in 2005.
He's going to come out soggy as fuck.
The bodybuilding community at this point, as if it wasn't already kind of sullied up enough, is just looking even dirtier and scummier. And I feel bad for all of these people, Jimmy. I feel really bad for them. I really do.
Holy shit.
But not as bad as I feel.
That is a pile that you have.
Craig Titus, Director of Business Development at Zimmer Thomas and Associates. Craig Titus, Business Development Manager at the FD Group. Craig Titus, the journeyman plumber at Titus Plumbing and Heating, Ltd.
That guy went through an apprenticeship.
He did. Craig Titus, professor at Drury University, where he's rated 4.7 out of 5 stars on RateMyProfessor.com. Wow. Craig Titus, the quality manager at Wild Defense and Space. And finally, Craig Titus, this poor bastard, just for his shit life, is an administrative assistant for the state of Nevada, formerly a counterman at CarQuest, and went to Cimarron Memorial High School. You poor son of a bitch.
You have a shit life and you have a terrible man's name.
And if we Google you, it says you're a murderer and a steroid freak. You poor bastard. So,
that's my favorite thing in the world.
I love that so much. December 8th, or December of 2008, Craig Titus makes a request to have his sentence reduced because he made the deal, and he's like, hey, can I maybe get a little... Because I think the deal...
I thought I could do this amount of time. Turns out I can't.
I think it was certain parameters, and then the judge had leeway to give his own sentence. And I think the judge gave him a harsher sentence than he thought he was going to get. So now he's trying to be like, hey, guy, I kind of cooperated here. I kind of said I was guilty.
Maybe you could help me?
Maybe you could help me. District Judge Jackie Glass, who handed out the original sentence, says, verdict of, sir, you may fuck off. Back to jail. Goodbye. He's gone. No silver-haired white man for him. In February of 2009, Anthony Gross, our gray pickup truck driving friend, pleads guilty to some sort of, excessive... I don't even know what it was. It was
probably like fucking insurance fraud or something.
It was like crime. It was disposing of evidence. Some shit. Whatever. He gets probation.
Hindering a fucking investigation.
He doesn't go to jail. He gets probation for this. So poor Anthony Gross, the groupie.
Good for him. It paid off to be a good friend.
He was a good guy, Anthony Gross. I'd like to have him as a friend. Yeah. He will literally
He'll do anything for
help you get rid of a body in the desert. Literally.
He's
proven at 3:30 in the morning. That guy will help you.
Yeah.
That guy's a good dude.
He'll get the gas.
He will.
He'll cover it.
He did.
He got him $2.60 worth of gas.
No problem. I got
in 2005.
I don't need
to 2004.
2005.
2005. Gas was $5 a gallon.
He said, "I don't even need a receipt. On me, guys. It's on me. I got it." So Kelly ends up divorcing Craig in December of 2009. So they're divorced now.
Real quick. The other thing is he drove his own truck to help, and it's a pickup truck. Gas guzzling son of a bitch. He still covered that.
This thing probably cost him $20 in gas minimum for this.
And he covered it.
And he got it.
Hell of a guy.
Guys, I got you covered.
So she divorced him.
Craig Titus, now there has been disputed dates on here about his eligibility for parole.
Yeah.
The one I see most is he's eligible on December 23rd, 2026. Now, I've also seen that he's eligible in 2021, 2017. I've seen all these different dates, but that's the one I see the most is 2026.
Yeah.
So I'm not sure about that, but now in 2011, Kelly Ryan actually was paroled. Don't get excited yet. She's not out, guys. Keep your dick in your pants for a second. Was paroled for the assault with a deadly weapon, and then now after that parole has to serve 3 years at least for the arson. So because they're consecutive. So she's paroled for the first one. Now she's got the second thing.
She's going right back in. You're paroled. Now go back.
What she did is called an Alford plea, which is what the West Memphis 3 had to do to get out of jail. Do you remember that? They got out of jail. They had to, it's basically where you don't admit guilt, but you admit that there's enough evidence to convict you.
Right.
So you're going to say you're guilty, but you're not admitting guilt.
Right.
That's what it is. So she does that with this deal, which and makes her eligible for parole. Now she was denied parole in 2015. Yay! Denied parole in 2015 and is not eligible for parole again until October 2017. So the streets are safe for a moment for this crazy fucking bitch. She's gone.
And Miss James, God rest your soul, gets a little bit of justice in denying the parole. Good for her.
Something anyway.
But there's no fucking story.
Now this is weird too. Starting in June of 2012, I start seeing like a weekly blog online in Iron Magazine called Titus Talks.
No.
And it's just him talking about weightlifting.
Oh, what an asshole.
It's just about weightlifting, stories. It's got all of his accomplishments. There's a picture of him like in peak form, like from a muscle magazine as like his... It's called Titus Talks. Look it up.
In like a
Iron
pose
Magazine.
that he fucking choked a woman out in.
Ridiculous.
What an asshole.
Total bullshit.
How's he's getting cantina money for this shit? What a dick. I hate that he's capitalizing still.
He's lonely.
Good.
Old Craig is lonely because he is on writeaprisoner.com. He's on writeaprisoner.com. I swear to God, I'm going to read his profile, then I'll tell you how you can contact him. I have a feeling Mark Busby will be making a new friend here.
Please, Busby, too.
Jesus, all of you guys, contact him.
At least Busby, minimum.
Okay, here is, this is long. I won't do in their own words because the music will just go on forever, but it's amazing. Okay, here it is. There's a picture of him with his hands in his pockets like, hey, how's it going? He's totally bald. It says,
hey, I'm a cool drug dealer.
Let's see here. Hey, kind of... pay me or I'll kill you type. I go by Eddie sometimes. He says, here it is. Hello. I'm really happy you're taking the time out of your day to read my bio. Never in a million years did I
Not
dream
happier than I am.
I'd be placing myself on an inmate website to find companionship, but here I am. Kooky.
I never dreamed, but my wife divorced me, so here I am.
If you're interested in who I am or what I was all about, Google me. I'm all over the internet. Do not believe everything you read. Some is true and some is not. I used to be a professional athlete and now I'm in prison. It's a long story, and if you get to know me, I'll share it with you. Just know that I'm a loyal Capricorn looking for a true friend in every sense of the word.
He's into astrology.
Holy shit.
Fuck him.
I work out 5 days a week to keep myself in shape. I keep up on all current events. I enjoy reading novels and listening to all types of music.
Right.
Please make sure to include your address when you write me. I cannot email you. You can only email me. If you'd like to write me direct, my current address is below. I'm looking forward to hearing from you, ! And then in parentheses, the word smile. I guess that's like his emoji that he doesn't have.
He's up on the fucking internet lingo.
If you get the opportunity, please check out the book Swift Injustice, the Craig Titus story written by Tracy Mitchell, which we'll get into also in a second here. Thank you.
Yeah.
You can contact him if you'd like to. Here it is. Must be 18 years or older to write a prisoner. You should be 18 or older if you listen to our fucking show anyway. But it is Craig Titus, number 102-4059. He is in Lovelock, just like it sounds, Lovelock Correctional Center, 1200 Prison Road. That's an address. Lovelock, Nevada, 89419, USA. So please feel free to write him and find out what he does.
I love how complicated a prisoner's fucking address is.
It's amazing to get to him.
It's so great because it's just like, if you want to get a letter to me, you really have to fucking try. You got to write so much.
Now, his book is a load of shit.
Yeah.
Okay? It's Swift Injustice, the Craig Titus story, and it's literally about how he was set up for murder. It says, when the prosecutor repeatedly claimed the victim was beaten, tasered, body slammed, injected, choked, duct taped, and then burned in the back of a car, of course the media is ready to persecute him. Those things all fucking happened.
Yeah.
That's why they were ready to persecute him. Holy shit.
Here's the other thing. I wish at this moment I was a member of Anonymous or had any sort of hacking ability.
God.
I would love to hack that website and say, also, if you'd like to hear about him, listen to Crime and Sports.
No shit. And it's everywhere. It's on Amazon here. It's all over the place. It's you can buy it for $29.79 in paperback, which is super fucking expensive.
$30 book?
$30 for a paperback.
I bought Lawrence Taylor's book for $14.95.
Yeah, and he was actually
he matters, goddammit.
For Christ's sake. This is bullshit.
He broke a man's leg on Monday Night Football. What the fuck have you done?
Only six left in stock. Well, he never burned a girl in the desert in a Jaguar, so I guess if we're going by crime standards, Titus has him beat, actually. If we're going by actual accomplishments,
I guess he earned that $30 paperback.
He did. So, yeah,
and
that's
by the
a
way,
load of shit.
My fucking Taylor book is... My Lawrence Taylor book's a hardback. It's a beautiful book.
This is a pile of shit.
$14.95.
Picture him all muscly on the front. Go fuck yourself. So do not buy his book because I'm sure he will somehow indirectly get money for this, even though you're not supposed to make money off your crimes.
Right.
But if you're saying you didn't do it, this isn't a story of how he killed her. This is how he was persecuted, and it's a big rush to judgment.
Yeah.
Rush to judgment. Did we see the police statements?
Yeah.
Rush to judgment?
You told us what happened,
Holy
man.
shit. So Craig Titus, thank God, is locked away for what we think is at least another 10 years.
At least.
Thank fuck. Watch out for Kelly Ryan if you run into her in Vegas.
the next five.
Watch out. Probably next year.
Yeah.
Because she was denied this year. They'll probably give it to her
next
year.
That
way they can keep her on parole for a while. So watch out for that, guys. And that's Craig Titus, man.
There he is.
Wow.
In all of his
glory. What a goddamn story that was, isn't it? Holy shit. Good Lord. Thank you guys for hearing that.
Yeah.
That was awesome.
That was a fun one to do.
It really was. That was a lot of fun. Please remember to follow us on social media before I forget.
Yeah, do that.
Twitter is @CrimeandSports, crimeinsports@gmail.com if you want to drop us a line, Facebook.com/CrimeandSports, like we told you, the Patreon
We
page.
have an Instagram page for Frankie the Crime Sports Dog.
Also Frankie the Crime and Sports Dog has her own Instagram page.
Check that out. She's adorable.
She's pretty damn cute, so if you're into dogs, check that out. If you're not, I get it. We're being totally fucking whatever about it, but fine.
We're being a little queer about this.
Being a little queer, but we like the dog, all right? What do you want from us? God damn it. Jimmy, you want to give me your social
Yeah,
media?
at Whisman Sucks on Twitter and Instagram, WHISMAN Sucks. And then I'll figure out Snapchat. Never.
Nice. And I am at Jimmy P is funny. You can find me there. And also James Pietragallo on all the bullshit. But that doesn't matter.
No.
Guys, please.
What matters
iTunes,
is that you guys...
reviews. Please,
Yes.
guys. We beg of you.
Yeah.
We beg of you. That was a fun story, right?
so
You're
great.
entertained right now.
Yeah.
You're laughing. You're feeling like all warm and smiley. iTunes review.
Get on iTunes, review it, and say, you're right.
You're right. This
You're right.
is good. We're
This is
following
good,
instructions.
number one. But number two, Megan absolutely was pissed that she was going to ruin her wedding day. That's why she
Absolutely.
got turned
Megan
in.
was
That's it.
not taking that
That
shit.
bitch.
So, guys, thank you so much. Like we've said a million times, we're comics. We're not journalists. We don't have a big network.
Yeah.
You guys are what spread this.
You're it.
We try our best, and you guys spread it for us.
And you guys have done an amazing job, and we can't thank you enough.
Crime and Sports Movement is you guys.
That's
Thank
it.
you guys so much. Thank you, thank you. We will see you next week live from the Crime and Sports Studios.
Bye.
If you like crime and sports, you can listen early and ad-free now by joining Wondery Plus in the Wondery app or on Apple Podcasts. Prime members can listen early and ad-free on Amazon Music. Before you go, tell us about yourself by filling out a short survey at Wondery.com/survey. Everyone out there should listen to Small Town Murder. You really should, mainly because you never know who's next door. And that's the point of this show, really. You never know who is next door. You never know what's going to happen on Small Town Murder. That's what makes it so wonderful. The only thing you do know is that people are going to die, and we're probably going to make jokes about it. That's it. That's all we can promise you. We dig into these towns. We see what makes them tick, from local legends to scandals they may have had. And, of course, the biggest scandals of all, horrible murders that take place there. And we put our, what I feel is a completely appropriate comedic spin on the whole thing. And you know you need a laugh right now. So get in there, listen to Small Town Murder, follow Small Town Murder on the Wondery app or wherever you get your podcasts. You can listen to Small Town Murder early and ad-free right now on Wondery Plus.